For 10 years, the Avengers kept a secret buried so deep, not even S.H.I.E.L.D. could access it. But Iron Man recorded everything, and Hulk just found the footage. What they did in 2014 wasn't heroism. It was a cover-up drenched in innocent blood. Now the truth is out, and the Avengers are turning on each other, faster than any alien invasion ever could. And when the world sees what really happened that day, there may be no Avengers left to save it. The vault hissed open like it was exhaling guilt. Hulk stood in the cold dim light of Stark Tower's abandoned lower chamber. His massive green hand, still shaking, held a cracked biometric scanner. Even his fingerprints had changed since becoming this. But somehow, the vault had opened. And what lay inside wasn't meant to be found. A single drive. Stark Tech. Red-cased. No label. Just a date. May 12, 2014. Bruce had tried not to care. For years, he ignored the whispers. The missing files. The classified mission no one ever discussed, not even Steve. But something had changed last night. "Don't open it, Bruce," Natasha had warned him over an encrypted channel. Her voice cracked with fear, not command. That made it worse. "We didn't swear," Bruce had replied coldly. "We were told to forget. I never agreed to forget." Then silence. Now alone in a place no one dared revisit, Bruce slid the drive into an old Stark terminal. The system came to life instantly. Red lights. Encrypted screen. Access. Level red. Clearance. Stark only. He didn't hesitate. The screen blinked. Decrypting. Playback initiated. The footage shook as Iron Man's HUD lit up, snow and wind blurring the lens. A remote Eastern European town. Abandoned. Silent. The year, 2014. "Cap, I'm not seeing civilians." "This place is empty," Tony's voice echoed. "It's underground," came Cap's reply. "Intel says Hydra was experimenting. Bioweapons. Could be another Gamma variant." "Great," Tony muttered. "Another Hulk." No one laughed. Tony's HUD zoomed in. Thermal readings. Hundreds of red dots underground. "Hold up, these aren't soldiers." Then came the faces. Children. Young. Afraid. Trapped in glass chambers. "These kids, they're test subjects," Tony said. "Orders are clear." Fury's voice cut in. "Burn the site. No trace." "They're not enemy combatants," Steve shouted back. "We can't." The explosion hit before the sentence ended. Fire. Screaming. Panic. And then silence. Tony's voice returned in a whisper, talking to himself. "They told us it was Hydra, but I saw their eyes. They weren't soldiers." The video ended. The screen went dark. Bruce stood still. His heartbeat thundered. They didn't just destroy a Hydra lab. They erased an atrocity. Children. Innocent. Sacrificed. He backed away from the desk, breath heavy, chest tight. The Hulk stirred beneath his skin, not from rage, but sorrow. He activated his comm link. "Steve, what happened in Berivik?" There was a pause. "You weren't supposed to see that," Steve replied quietly. "You let it happen." "I tried to stop it," Steve fired back. "I fought Fury. I fought S.H.I.E.L.D. But no one listens when the war is already decided." "And you stayed silent." "Because the world needed heroes," Steve said. "Not butchers." Bruce cut the line. His fist slammed the terminal, sparks flying. But before he could react, the screen blinked again. "File upload complete. Global distribution in progress." His eyes widened. He hadn't triggered that. Someone else had. A message flashed. "You're welcome. R. R? Rhodey? Rocket? Ross? Or worse, Red Hulk?" Before Bruce could process it, another video autoplayed. Tony. No armor. No filters. Just a man. Tired. Honest. Dead. "Bruce, if you're watching this, it means I failed. I tried to hide it. Not because I was proud, but because the truth would tear everything apart. But maybe it should. They lied to us. S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury. Even Steve. We followed orders. And kids died. I kept the footage. If it gets out, the Avengers fall. But maybe they should. Do what I couldn't." Tony looked into the camera like he was staring into the soul of the world. "Show them." The screen flickered. Bruce looked at the terminal. A single button pulsed. Release to public. Outside, thunder rolled across Manhattan. This wasn't just a choice. It was a declaration of war. Bruce Banner, the man who ran from everything, finally stopped running. "This is for them," he whispered, and pressed send. Steve Rogers hadn't slept in 36 hours. Not because he couldn't, but because nightmares didn't need dreams anymore. Ever since Bruce leaked the footage, the world hadn't stopped shaking. The internet was on fire. Hashtag Berivik Massacre was trending in 195 countries. World leaders were demanding answers. Human rights courts were opening emergency hearings. The press wanted blood, and the world knew where to look. At the Avengers. Steve stood alone at the ruins of the old SHIELD underground base, now decommissioned, buried in legal tape and concrete. But ghosts didn't care about legalities. And this place was full of them. His comlink buzzed. "Rogers." Nick Fury's voice came through, sharp as ever. "We have a problem." "No, you have a problem," Steve replied coldly. "You knew what would happen when Bruce found that file. I expected Banner to be smarter. You expected him to stay silent." There was a long pause. "Where are you, Cap?" Fury asked. "I'm standing on their graves." Behind him, wind howled through the broken concrete. Steve knelt and traced a rusted Hydra emblem with his glove. This place had once been their battlefield. Now it was a tomb. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed behind him. "You came back." Steve turned slowly. It was Thor, his cape torn, Stormbreaker strapped across his back, face cold. "You knew about Berivik?" Thor asked. Steve didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked out over the ruined valley. "There were 73 children in that lab," he finally said. "We thought it was Hydra cloning soldiers. We were told we were saving lives." Thor stepped closer. "But the footage." "I saw it live," Steve cut in. "I was there, Thor. I watched that girl scream before Fury dropped the fire." Thor's eyes flashed. "Why did you say nothing?" Steve clenched his jaw. The wind grew colder. "Because the war needed heroes." Thor's voice thundered. "And what of justice?" Steve didn't flinch. "I begged them to evacuate. I fought Fury. I fought SHIELD. But when it was over, I chose to keep quiet." "Why?" Steve's voice dropped. "Because if the world found out what we did, there would be no Avengers left." Back at Stark Tower, Banner was watching live news coverage. Former Avengers under war crime investigation. Steve Rogers accused of suppressing evidence. Was Iron Man's death linked to the Berivik cover-up? Bruce turned the screen off. His face was calm, but his hands were trembling. Suddenly, a call came through, private line. He answered. "Bruce, we need to talk." It was Steve. The two men met inside an abandoned SWRD hangar, neutral ground. No suits, no tech, just men with history. Bruce didn't waste time. "You watched her die, Steve." Steve didn't deny it. "I did." "You could have stopped it." "I tried." "You should have spoken." "I was a soldier, Bruce. I followed orders. And that's exactly what I regret the most." Bruce's rage simmered. "You let Tony carry the guilt." "I didn't know he recorded it." Bruce's eyes narrowed. "Then why didn't you come forward when he died?" Steve looked down. "Because I was afraid. Of what it meant. Of what I'd become." Bruce stared at him. And for the first time, he saw the man beneath the shield. Suddenly, explosions rocked the hangar. A wall caved in. A flash of red energy burst through. Red Hulk. Larger. Faster. Angrier. And wearing a military-grade exosuit. Finally, Red Hulk growled. The two traitors in one place. He wasn't alone. U.S. agent followed, behind him, shield ready. "Council says you're off the leash, Rogers," he barked. "You and Banner both." Bruce smirked. "Did they send you to kill us?" "No," Red Hulk said, cracking his knuckles. "They sent us to erase you." Steve and Bruce exchanged a glance. Then they moved. Red Hulk lunged first, smashing down like a meteor. Bruce shifted mid-air, bones cracking, muscles exploding, transforming into Hulk just in time to catch the blow. The entire hangar floor shattered. Steve took on U.S. agent, shield against shield. "You're not Captain America," Agent sneered. And you'll never be, Steve replied, slamming his vibranium shield against his. Hulk roared as Red Hulk pinned him against a wall, teeth gritted. I've waited years to put you down, Banner. Hulk responded with a thunderous headbutt, sending Red Hulk flying through steel beams. Outside, alarms blared. Drones swarmed. They weren't just being attacked, they were being hunted. Back at the council headquarters, far above the Earth on a floating base, holograms of world leaders debated in chaos. Director Hill stood quietly in the shadows, watching the council implode. They want blood, she whispered. A voice behind her replied. Then give them truth. She turned. It was Vision. Alive. Upgraded. Watching. There's more to the Berivik story, Vision said. Much more. And you have it? I always did. But like Tony, I was waiting for the right moment. As Hulk and Steve barely escaped the hangar, battered and bruised, they knew one thing. This wasn't just fallout. This was war. And the world had already chosen sides. But the truth, the real truth, was still coming. And it would break everything. The world thought it knew chaos. But what followed the Berivik leak wasn't just chaos. It was a controlled demolition of trust. Cities rioted. Nations pointed fingers. Former allies turned enemies. And at the center of the storm stood Hulk and Steve Rogers, fugitives. Not from villains, but from the very system they helped protect. A secure underground bunker in an undisclosed desert zone buzzed with electricity. Inside, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, a.k.a. Red Hulk, stood before a council of shadows, faces hidden, voices masked. We warned you Banner was unstable, Ross said, voice deep and venomous. Now the entire planet questions the Avengers' integrity. A faceless voice replied. You were meant to eliminate the threat quietly. I tried. They fought back. Rogers was there. Another voice spoke, colder. Then you failed. Again. Ross's jaw tightened. His skin pulsed red. Give me full command. I'll bring them in. Alive if possible. Dead if necessary. A brief silence. Then approval. Granted. But Ross wasn't telling them everything. Because deep in his personal archive, he had his own copy of the Berivik footage. Only his version was longer. More brutal. And it showed something no one else had seen. Flashback. May 12, 2014, Berivik mission. As Steve shouted to delay the strike and Tony hesitated to fire, a third voice on the comm ordered the airstrike override. Authorization granted. Burn the site. Leave no evidence. It wasn't Fury. It wasn't Cap. It wasn't anyone on the field. It was Ross. He had called the strike. He had authorized the fire. He was the true architect of the massacre. And now, with the world hunting for answers, Ross was rewriting history, again. Back at an abandoned Wakandan safehouse, Bruce Banner was recovering, bruised and silent. Steve Rogers paced beside him, watching the news. U.S. Senate demands arrest of Captain America. World Council offers reward for Hulk's capture, dead or alive. You realize what this means, Bruce said slowly. They'll use this moment to bury us. Steve nodded. Unless we get to the truth first. Fury, Bruce asked. Steve shook his head. He vanished the day the leak dropped. Then who's left? A calm voice answered from the shadows. Me. It was Vision. Alive. Upgraded. And holding answers. I've been watching, Vision said. Since Tony died, I've been scanning encrypted archives across every defense agency. I was looking for patterns. I found them in Berivik. He pulled up holographic data, mission logs, audio clips, classified orders. Iron Man's footage was only part of the puzzle. What Banner found, that was the trigger. But the real order came from this. He played the audio. Ross's voice. I don't care if they're kids. We can't let enhanced genes spread. This is containment, not rescue. Bruce's heart stopped. Steve's fists clenched. Ross ordered the strike. Steve asked. Vision nodded. And now he's trying to erase you both before anyone finds out. The screen changed again, satellite footage. Red Hulk's convoy. Black sites. Detainment camps. He wasn't just hunting them. He was building something. Super prison, Bruce whispered. For enhanced threats. More than that, Vision replied. He's rebuilding his own Avengers, with loyalty manufactured and secrets buried. Steve slammed his fist into the wall. No more secrets. Elsewhere, Red Hulk stood in front of a sealed cryo chamber. Inside, a sedated body. He stared through the glass at a familiar face. Clint Barton. Hawkeye. "Sorry, soldier," Ross muttered. "But you knew too much." He pressed a button, and the chamber's oxygen dropped by 30%. Back at the safe house, Vision turned to Bruce. "There's more." Tony left one final file, a contingency plan. If the truth ever got out, he built something that could destroy the council. Bruce stared. "Where is it?" Vision paused. "Guarded. Buried in a memory fragment. But we need someone to unlock it." "Who?" Vision's eyes dimmed. "Peter Parker." Steve frowned. "Peter? Why him?" "Because Tony trusted him with a neural signature key, hidden during their final mission together. Without it, the data is corrupted." Bruce stood. "Then we find Peter." Steve nodded. "Before Ross does." Cut to Queens. Midnight. Peter Parker, unmasked, sat alone on a rooftop. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He picked up. "Hey kid," Bruce's voice came through. "We need you." Peter paused. You do know the whole world wants your head, right?" "We know. That's why we're coming to you." Cool. Just checking. Do I get to punch someone?" Steve's voice came on next. "Only the ones who deserve it." Peter smiled. "Then let's save the world again." Meanwhile, Ross received a report from his private AI. "Subject Parker located. Target en route. Should I deploy strike team?" Ross smiled. "No. Let them gather. Let them run. I want them all in one place." "Why?" the AI asked. Ross grinned. "So I can end this in one shot." Back at the council base, panic was spreading. Some members were resigning. Others demanding immunity. Because Vision had leaked one more clip to the dark web. Audio of Ross's 2014 command to firebomb Barivik. The internet turned. Red Hulk was no longer a hero. He was a butcher. But now, with power consolidating and Avengers scattered, he had one final plan. A strike so big it would rewrite everything. Unless Hulk, Captain America, Vision, and Peter could stop it. But time was running out. Peter Parker had been hunted before by villains, by reporters, even by the law. But never by the Avengers. And never by Red Hulk. The city was asleep, but Peter's mind raced. Perched on the edge of a radio tower, his fingers clenched his phone. The voice on the other end? Bruce Banner. "Tony hid something inside you, Peter. A digital key, embedded during the mission in Sokovia. You're the only one who can unlock his final file." Peter blinked. "Wait, are you saying I've got Stark tech in my brain?" "Not tech," Vision interrupted. "A memory pattern. Synced to your bioneural signature. Like a digital fingerprint. Only your mind can activate it." Peter swallowed. Cool. So, does it hurt?" There was a pause. "We don't know." Inside a hidden lab beneath New York, Bruce and Steve prepared the extractor. "It's risky," Vision warned. "Triggering the memory may overwhelm his cortex." "We don't have a choice," Steve said. "Ross is building something. Tony's file could be the only weapon that stops him." When Peter walked in, suit torn, eyes wide, he tried to play cool. "So, whose brain are we messing with today?" Peter lay on the table. Electrodes. Humming machines. Vision monitored synaptic waves. "Just relax," Bruce said. "Dude, I've died once already." "No pressure," Peter muttered. A beam scanned his skull. Lights flickered. Then flash. Peter's pupils widened. A rush of images hit like lightning. Tony, laughing, crying, recording a message. "If you're seeing this, kid, then the world is upside down. I designed a failsafe, not a weapon. A truth bomb, something to collapse any corrupt system from the inside." The council. Ross. "Anyone hiding behind orders, it exposes everything." Peter gasped as the vision deepened. "But I made it only unlockable by someone I trusted more than myself. Someone who'd do the right thing, no matter the cost. That's you, Pete." Suddenly, Peter convulsed. "Pull him out." Bruce yelled. "No, he's stabilizing." Vision countered. Peter's voice cracked. I see it, the location. Arizona, Vault 87, password. EDITH. And then, silence. Peter slumped back, breathing. Alive. He smiled weakly. So did I win something? But the celebration ended too soon. A red flash lit the sky above. Outside the bunker, Red Hulk landed like a meteor. With him, an elite strike team of bioenhanced soldiers. Playtime's over, he growled. Steve grabbed his shield. Stall him. Bruce nodded. Get Peter out. I'll hold the line. Red Hulk smashed through the door. You think the world cares about your truth, he roared. I am the future. I am order. Hulk emerged, no hesitation, no fear. Then this is the end of your future. They collided like planets. Explosions shook the base. Steve, Vision, and Peter escaped through the emergency tunnel. Behind them, Hulk and Red Hulk tore the facility apart. Peter clutched the encrypted drive in his hand. What now? Steve looked up. We expose everything. Peter nodded. Then let's burn their lies to the ground. One upload. One truth. One final strike. The decrypted file burned across the global web like wildfire. Peter uploaded it through Stark's old EDITH system, a backdoor to every major satellite, media server, and military feed on Earth. The message? Crystal clear. General Ross, Red Hulk, had ordered the massacre at Berivik. The video showed children screaming in locked cells. Ross authorizing a clean burn. Tony's voice full of guilt. Steve begging for a delay. The lie was dead, and so were the careers of everyone who helped cover it. Back in the ruins of the lab, Ross lay buried under rubble, bleeding, broken, defeated. But alive. Bruce stood over him, breath heavy, chest rising and falling. You're finished. Ross chuckled through broken teeth. No. You think this ends with a file? The world needs monsters like me. Bruce didn't blink. No. It needs truth. That's what Tony died for. That's what those children died for. He turned away. You're going to live and watch the world spit out your name. Meanwhile, at the World Security Council emergency session, Vision streamed the full recording onto every screen. No one could run. No one could lie. You said the Avengers were dangerous, Vision said. But the real danger was who gave them orders. The chamber fell silent. And then applause. From Chala. From Wakandan representatives. From civilians watching worldwide. The Avengers weren't destroyed. They were reborn. But this time, with no secrets. On a rooftop in New York, Peter, Steve, and Bruce sat watching the sunrise. No suits. No shields. No cameras. Just peace. You think they'll forgive us? Peter asked. Steve shrugged. They don't have to. Bruce nodded. They just have to remember. Peter smiled. And maybe rebuild something better. Final shot. A statue is unveiled in a quiet field once called Berivik. 73 names carved in stone. Above them, a quote from Tony Stark. Truth doesn't kill heroes. Lies do. The end.